Hello and welcome to another George May Racecraft EFI installation. This time I'm going to do EFI on this 55 Chev, but this time I'm going to do it with a Holley Sniper, which is a throttle body EFI setup. This is different to the ones that I've done previously, so this is the first one of these that I'm going to do. So what we're going to do this time is going to replace this Edelbrock carburetor with the Holley Sniper. The Sniper is a self-tuning EFI, so we'll have to put an oxygen sensor into the exhaust, and there'll probably be a little bit of fiddling that we've got to do with linkages and so forth. So we'll get the carburetor off and we'll get started on converting it to EFI. This is Rob, he's the owner of the car and he'll be helping me do this conversion today. So hopefully we can get all this done in one day, so it'll probably be a fairly short video. Okay, alright, we've run into a little problem here with these vacuum lines. Rob's just pulling off the one to the brake booster and the other one goes to the vacuum modulator on the transmission, but luckily on the back of the Holley we have those fittings, so those fittings will go and we'll use these ones here. Okay, we've got our new gasket on. We're just about to lift the throttle body onto in position now. It just slips straight onto the original Holley bolt pattern, and then all we'll need to do is see how our linkages for the kick down and the throttle cable fit. So we'll get those fitted up, see how we go. We've got our throttle body all bolted on now. All the linkages went straight on because they're all basically Holley type linkages. Even the return spring went on. We've fitted our swirl pot here and our EFI pump. These you buy off eBay. They're cheapest chips to buy. They come with a Bosch 044 style pump. The only thing that we're going to have to do is to change this fitting on here. This is made for a banjo fitting and it's definitely not going to go together with our AN fittings that we've got here. So I'll modify this. We'll hook up some fuel lines and then we've got to fit the water temperature sensor. So we still have to drill a hole in the manifold and fit the water temperature sensor. The Holley Sniper requires a coolant sensor. This is it here, it's a 3/8 NPT. So we've got to mount that into the manifold. Usually manifolds have got a whole lot of holes in them. This one doesn't, but we do have a convenient position right here where we can drill and tap a hole. So we'll do that now. Yep. Alright, that's got our coolant temperature sensor fitted, so we'll hook up the wiring, carry on from there. So the Holley Sniper requires an oxygen sensor so that it can read the fuel mixtures and do the self-tuning as you go. So we have to drill a hole in the exhaust pipe for this to go into. So I've got a little piece of pipe here to demonstrate. So what Holley supplies is this plate, which has the correct thread in it for the O2 sensor. That simply goes on the outside of the pipe, and then the hose clamps go on to hold it onto the pipe. So once we've got our hole drilled in our collector, we can screw our O2 sensor straight into the adapter, and there's no welding required. We've drilled a hole in the exhaust, and as per Holley instructions, it's a bit up above the horizontal, so we'll put the oxygen sensor in there. So that's the O2 sensor mounted up in the exhaust. That's quite a nice easy way of doing it and saves having to weld. We've also got our return line back to the tank fitted up, so we'll go back to the top of the car now and hook up all our fuel system. We're at the wiring stage now. We've mounted our relay and our fuse. We've got the main power wires here, and we've got a convenient spot here with a fusible link to hook our main power to, and a good spot there to put our earth. The blue wire that you can see here runs to our fuel pump, so that only leaves us with the pink wire here, which is our switched 12 volt that actually turns the unit on, and a signal from the negative side of the coil to allow it to run. Now in the future, what we're going to do is going to convert this to ignition control as well, timing control, but in order just to get the motor running at this stage, we're just going to run this off the negative side of the coil. At a later stage we will get it all going, and we'll put an MSD on it as well, just to get the good spark power. Alright, we've got our fuel system all sorted out here. You can see here we're using a little swirl pot with an EFI pump mounted into it. These things are really cheap to buy off eBay. But they'll do the job that we need here. We've got our fuel high pressure supply, we've got our supply from the mechanical pump, we've got our return from the injectors, and we've got our return back to the tank. So that's all our fuel system taken care of there. So next thing now is to go to the hand controller and set it up. Okay, so we've got our install done now, so we're going to go into the basic programming. Holley gives you a little stylus to do it with, so we're going to go into Setup Wizard. That's our part number there. We're 8 cylinders, so we'll program that in. Engine displacement 350 cubic inches. Oh, that's pretty sensitive. 337, 359. That'll be near enough for us to get started. Idle speed, what about 750 revs? There we go, so 750 revs on the idle. We're stock cam. Power adder, none. We're coil negative at this stage. We will change that in the future, because what we'd like to do is to be able to take control of the ignition as well. Okay, cam stock sniper, that's it. So we go start. Okay, it's programmed that in. Okay, so now we've just got to turn the ignition on and off, and we should be able to start. Nearly ready for a start now, so I'm going to go to monitor, and we'll go to multi-gauge. So there we go, we've got a full set of gauges there. It shows us most of our setup, so we'll try and start it now. Okay, just come on this side, come back to me. Alright, so we've started, we're running. That's probably the easiest start off the VFI that I've ever done. It's a really, really simple system there. Alright, next thing will be, take it for a drive. We're in the car now, and we're just getting ready to go for a drive. From the passenger seat I can tell you the throttle response is pretty good. Seems to be doing everything right. throttle response. Go back to our gauges here. Yeah. I'm just going to get Rob now to go wide open throttle so we can see the mixture change and the revs come up. You can see it's 13.7. Very, very responsive.